A Rockets trade is imminent as we have a new report that reveals a wild update on Reed Sheppard and the potential of him not succeeding and what the Rockets' plan is to do if he does not pan out. We'll tell you that report and all the latest, including a new trade that came out from Bleacher Report right here on Rockets Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. Reed Sheppard, who started in the first preseason game for the Rockets, will most likely start again tonight in their second preseason game, and he is playing for a lot right now. We'll talk about it on today's show. Before that, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want coverage of the entirety of the Rockets 2025-26 season. We've noticed that right around 70% of you who watch these videos, you're not yet subscribed. What are you waiting for? It is the perfect time. It's 100% free. We've got all the best coverage for the Houston Rockets all season long. Here is the report from Full Court Pass per ESPN. The Rockets will make a move to get a point guard if Reed Sheppard struggles. This was something we have talked about for the past couple weeks since the Fred VanVleet injury because, well, quite frankly, the Rockets' point guard depth, it's not there. It's not. They went a lot of forwards and wings, and that's a great thing, but they don't have a lot of guards. If you want to talk about the depth, it's Amen Thompson, Reed Sheppard, Aaron Holiday, Josh Okogie, and then you also have J.D. Davison, who I think actually could be a very good potential match for the Rockets. But Reed Sheppard is the number one priority. He was talked about all season, or rather all offseason, about how they need him to be good. And that was before VanVleet's injury. This was before VanVleet got injured. And they said, yeah, we have to have Reed Sheppard be good. We have to. Now they need him even more, and it's going to be an intriguing thing for the Rockets because, well, he started in the first preseason game. He was okay. 19 minutes, 7 points, -6, 3 rebounds. J.D. Davison off the bench, 22 minutes, 17 points. He's a point guard too. He fits the Ime Udoka vibe. Maybe they decide that Reed Sheppard isn't it. They could easily ship him off and try and go get a point guard out there as well. So with that being the topic of today's video, it was kind of an intriguing timing of all this, but Bleacher Report released this article just a day ago talking about one ambitious trade target for every NBA team during the 2025-26 NBA season. So we're going to talk about what exactly this is. First, though, I do want to look at Reed Sheppard just because last year he did not get to play a lot of minutes. 12.6, 4.4 in the points per game margin. Field goal percentage and three-point percentage were really lackluster. I mean, as a number 3 overall pick, you just expect more. Even when he's coming off the bench in garbage time, you expect more than this. Now, first preseason game, he only had 7 points, but I say that lightly because he actually did play a very good brand of basketball. The stat sheet just didn't show it. With that all being said, though, we got to take a look at what this ambitious trade is. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the intro, you know who it is. It's Trae Young. Now, a lot of things have to go right for this. First of all, the Rockets have to be in a position where Reed Sheppard struggles and they need a fix at the point guard. The second thing that has to go right is that the Atlanta Hawks may have to struggle as well, and they're looking to be a pretty good team in the Eastern Conference. But to get rid of Trae Young, I have to think they'd have to not be in somewhat of a playoff positionment or be in an interesting situation with their point guards as well. They got a couple of good guards, so we'll kind of see what they do with their moves in the in-season trade market as well. But it's kind of an interesting one. So looking at a quote here from the Bleacher Report article, Greg Schwartz says, quote, Trae Young joining forces with Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün, Amen Thompson, and others would make the Rockets an incredible force even in the West. Houston's 5th-ranked defense should be able to absorb Young's deficiencies on that end as well. This is where the intriguing part comes in, though, because he does have a lot of good qualities as a basketball player, right? But we know Ime Udoka. We know that if you want to play for his squad, you have to play defense. Trae Young does not play defense, and he does, but you know what I'm saying. I would be intrigued if that happened, whether or not Ime Udoka would even be willing to work on that idea. I think he's a good player. And I'm intrigued to see what the season has for the Rockets. And if they need a point guard and Trae Young is available, he's one of the best out there, because his defense may not be it, but 36 minutes per game last year, averaging 24.2 points. And the big thing that I like is 11.6 assists. To me, he is a more offensive-minded version of Fred VanVleet, a little bit better at the ball handling, but he can really, really move the ball around, really control an offense, and is a real driver for an offense as well. If you paired him with Kevin Durant, Alperen Şengün, Amin Thompson, I mean, this team on the offensive side would be legitimately one of the best in the National Basketball Association. But, again, to play on Ime Udoka's team, you have to play defense, and, well, he doesn't exactly do that. So, kind of looking at everything, it's a weird time to kind of think about these trades, but it's coming. And so, what exactly will it look like? Well, here it is. It's kind of a trade report. Quote, using VanVleet's expiring $25 million contract to help match salaries, the Rockets could put together a deal for Young while keeping their core pieces at place. What are their core pieces? Amin Thompson, Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr. Those are their core pieces. You want to include Kevin Durant, you can include him too, although he has not signed that extension just yet. I've got a trade for y'all. I think it's the best you're going to get, and don't shoot the messenger. This is just something that would work with salaries and actually go. The Rockets would receive Trae Young. However, the Hawks would get Fred VanVleet, Reed Sheppard, Tari Eason, and some draft capital. This would be a trade that I don't know about for a couple of different reasons, and I'll talk about it now. VanVleet, first of all, has a no-trade clause in his contract. He has a player option coming up after this season, and the injury doesn't affect that. So with all that, you're going to need to basically almost backstab Fred VanVleet in a way, and the Atlanta Hawks have to be okay with paying VanVleet next year $25 million on that player option, knowing he's going to accept it after not playing this season. And on top of which, you would have to give them Reed Sheppard, which if he is struggling, do the Atlanta Hawks actually want to go out and pay for Reed Sheppard? Is that something that they would actually go out? The two big pieces to me, though, are at the end of this. Tari Eason, who will become a restricted free agent after this season if he does not sign an extension by October 20th. It's looking more and more likely like he is not going to reach that extension. And then the draft capital. The Rockets have a good amount of picks and stuff that they, in all reality, don't need if they can put out a good competitive team this year. Is it a trade that I want to make? No. I want Reed Sheppard to be good, and we're fine. Is it a trade that if Reed Sheppard is struggling, if the point guard room is legitimately the one thing holding the Rockets back, I'm making this trade. I'm making it. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I don't know if that's going to work out in the long-term game. But if the Rockets are competing in the Western Conference and the ability to go get Trae Young is there, I don't see why you don't do that. Because in my mind, the three untradeable pieces, at least in their young core-wise, we've shown. It's Amin Thompson, it's going to be Alperen Şengün, and with the extension for Jabari Smith Jr., it's Jabari Smith Jr. I want to say it's Tari. I want to put him in this group as well, but he does not have the extension yet. He doesn't, and that's really the thing that's holding him back. It really is. I want Tari to be a part of this basketball team. I think he has a great thing going for him. I think the Rockets value him so much. But it's really, really hard to look at Tari Eason and know that he is going to be a restricted free agent if you don't get that contract done. And if you don't get that contract done, there is probably a good amount of teams that will have a significant amount of money that they can give to Tari that you are not able to give because of contracts to other people. If the Rockets are in a situation where they need some extra help, brace yourselves because Tari is the one that will go. Tari is the guy that will be traded unless they can reach that extension before the 20th. Kevin Durant wants to stay in Houston. I believe he'll be here pretty much no matter what. The Rockets want Tari, but they want him a little bit on their terms, and that's where the tough part of all this comes in. So Fred VanVleet also, you kind of backstab him. I know it doesn't seem that way, but guy who's been loyal to this team, guy who's been the one who really started the rebuild in a lot of ways, coached a lot of these young guys. He's going to be on the bench coaching these young guys this year. He's got a no-trade clause for a reason because he wants to stay in Houston. And, specifically for the stuff like this where he gets injured, hey, I got a no-trade clause. You can't just move me. I know that it'd be tough to get him away too. So it's an intriguing trade. It's one that I think is worth exploring if the Rockets get into a sticky situation. But I ask you the question now, would you accept this trade? Rockets receiving Trae Young, Hawks receive VanVleet, Sheppard, Eason, and some draft capital. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, I think I've already proven my point. If the Rockets go out and the struggle is there still, then, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Going back to an article from a day ago talking about the concern with the point guard, I think he makes a good point here. Jed Katz of Rockets SI, that if the Rockets early on in the season can silence the noise and figure out a sufficient offense without VanVleet, the concern will get shut down almost immediately. However, early struggles could flip Houston's reputation as a legitimate title contender, end quote. If it struggles early, you're gonna see the Rockets go into a little bit of a panic mode because they didn't really plan for a point guard. And Amin Thompson can play it, and I think they'll be fine. And if you ask me, I think it's gonna work out. But if it doesn't, it's a real scary and kind of interesting situation for the Rockets. We appreciate you watching here on today's show. Lots of stuff, lots of hard-hitting stuff. So we're going to have some more videos out. Kevin Durant will make his preseason debut for the Houston Rockets this evening. We'll have a video and a short on that. Have a video out tomorrow, probably, but a short out tonight. So make sure you check out for that. We'll get some live streams going here as the season begins. We'll be live for the first game for the Rockets and the Thunder. And we appreciate you, and we'll see you then, and we'll see you tomorrow. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time here on Rockets Digest. Peace out, guys.